I'll turn it on. Hello, we're live. Welcome to this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live, the show of strange noises.
The show of mystery noises.
Okay, there we go. There's the mystery noise.
We can't get to
Thank you so much for watching us live on Facebook and YouTube. We're so excited to be here. Make sure you go follow our website, HollywoodMatrimony.com. Go to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Like, share, tell everyone you know. Thumbs up, subscribe. That's what the pillow says. Now things are falling down. What is happening back here?
Because they're doing
oh my gosh.
things.
This is the show of crazy dogs. And you know what? I don't care. I guess this is not that professional a show. Otherwise, there'd probably not be dogs.
You think the show's not professional?
I don't know. Maybe
the camera said good today.
we look really good today.
I don't know about us, but the camera said
what fell down? Oh, my tissues fell down, which is kind of important because I needed a tissue.
Why is it you've kind of moved in here? There's all your craps all over here.
What do you mean?
All your stuff's always fallen over. It's always living, and then it's just left everywhere.
Well, my ugly Chewbacca's are getting destroyed, so I need to move them over here.
Are they chewing on them?
Well, there's kind of slobbery now. Hi, this is ugly Chewbacca. As you can see, he's like, arr. This is the other one. I'm waiting for everybody to like and share. This is like, hey, ladies, because if you look at his mouth, he's like, hey.
If you don't, you have to know the history here. Is this young lady?
There you go.
I'm the Star Wars craze person in our house,
so
I have a massive Star Wars collection. But she collects what she classified as ugly Chewbaccas. And
there are many.
They're just ones that look. Really?
No, we can't do this here.
Especially behind us. Vader,
oh my gosh. Okay, somebody just clawed me.
Vader's entire Vader's entire head, Sabine's entire jaw in Vader's mouth.
Okay, somebody is just clawing the crap out of me.
That would be Sabine. You're going to have to move Vader. He's on your side over there.
Vader, come on, get down. Let's go. I'm sorry.
Well, he can lay down.
Get down or lay down.
Separated.
There you go. Lay down.
All right.
All right. What movie? Oh, sorry. I don't mean to squish you, but.
What are you doing?
My tissues fell down.
You don't need any tissues.
I do. I have the worst allergies in the whole world.
Right.
Probably not.
This is the worst show ever. All right.
All right.
This show is just a big pile of doo-doo.
No, it's not. This is a fun show. People like our show because of this reason.
It's a pile of doo-doo.
No, because it's fun.
Okay, that's fun. All right, so let's talk about.
We have a lot of things to talk about.
Classic animated films featuring classic cartoon characters. We got a movie that is being deemed probably one of the best movies of. I don't know if they're classifying as 2020 or this year, because it did a limited run already, but now it's just got its bigger run in its release. And then what else did we have?
We have a couple of things, babe. We got all these.
Oh, and then we have another, like a thriller.
A thriller adventure thing.
Hey, stop.
No, Lord.
Stop. You want to go to your bed?
Yes. Go to your bed.
Yeah, stop.
All right.
Where do you want to start? What you want to talk about, sister? Let's do it.
Okay, let's see. Today we are going to talk about let's talk about. You want to talk about that first?
Sure.
Let's talk about this.
So Warner Brothers keeps releasing. Believe it or not, stop. This. Let me start again because this fool just threw me off. Warner Brothers has not let the Scooby-Doo franchise die.
No.
It constantly either has new series coming out, and a lot of original animated features. A lot of them have been crossover type movies featuring superheroes and wrestlers and Elvira and all kinds of craziness, which kind of harkens back to the old mysteries, where they do all the celebrity guests.
Yes.
The latest one coming out is not one of those big crossover ones.
Hey.
Really,
Stop.
But it is more than you think it is.
Yes.
It's not a celebrity crossover, though, but I don't want to spoil the crossover. But it's a movie called The Sword and the Scoob.
Yes.
So it basically takes them into the world of the King
Knights
Arthur
of the Round Table,
which I was pretty hesitant on about this because I'm like, okay, normally it just deals with monsters and ghosts and stuff, and so now we're dealing with time travel. Now it's just going to get ridiculous.
Well,
but we'll discuss and see what happens.
Okay.
So, you're a Scooby-Doo fan, right?
I am a Scooby-Doo fan.
I am not.
I know, and I don't understand that.
What's funny, though...
Did you not watch it as a child?
Like most kids, I watched a lot of mainstream cartoons like everybody else did.
Yeah.
But I wasn't a big fan of them. I wasn't a big fan of Looney Tunes. I wasn't a big fan of... I wasn't a big fan of Scooby-Doo. I wasn't a big fan of...
Really?
The Jetsons and the Flintstones and the Smurfs and... whatever, all the big Disney. I wasn't a fan of all of it. I watched it, enjoyed it, but that wasn't my go-to. Like, I was always more Tex Avery with Droopy and Screwball Squirrel and that kind of stuff. And then I'd like weird offbeat cartoons, you know. But I also was big into, you know, like the G.I. Joes and the He-Mans.
Oh, I did watch me some G.I. Joe, though, too.
Anyway.
G.I. Joe.
But I will say, I keep saying I'm not a big fan of Scooby-Doo.
But you watch all of them.
Well, I watched all the reviews of them, but the last few things that have come out, I've actually really enjoyed.
They've been pretty catchy.
You know,
they get you.
The Scoob movie, I really had a blast with.
Yes.
There was a last couple, I don't remember exactly what they are now, but the last couple of these animated films I actually enjoyed. So I was kind of excited to watch the new one to see what we thought.
I'm all about this.
So what did you think of this one? First, tell everybody what it's about.
So this one, obviously, Scooby-Doo and the Sword and the Scoob. The gang travel to a little town in England. And they're celebrating this, commemorating the time of the Knights of the Round Table. And then, their time travel back into the time. Suddenly, we're fighting like monsters and dragons and things. And that's where we're at. And it's so funny because Velma doesn't believe in magic or time travel.
We all know in the world of Scooby-Doo, nothing is ever what it seems.
Correct. And so she's like, they're using something. It's not magic. Magic doesn't exist. And then you have Fred and Daphne who just believe everything. They're always so gullible.
They're stupid.
And then I think Shaggy and Scooby, in a weird way,
are the most smartest people.
They're the smartest ones there, even though they appear to be the most. I don't want to say.
They're scared of everything.
But they're scared of everything. But you know what? That just makes them cautious. Yeah,
Shaggy's a pothead.
They're just cautious. I mean, what do you expect him to do? He's a dog, but he is a dog that speaks. But I just think that they're the best characters. I love the ongoing friendship of Shaggy and Scooby. I hate Scrappy.
I know that's why I said it.
And then what was the other one that's the country dog with the weird hat? He's like the country cousin.
Is that from Scooby-Doo?
Yes.
I don't remember.
I'll find out.
That's not necessary.
Anyhow, I enjoyed this movie thoroughly. I really loved it. I was trying to figure out the mystery myself. Like, how did we time travel? How did we get here? And I think my favorite is I liked the king of Camelot in this particular instance. He was hilarious.
I got excited going into this one because the movie kicks off. And this isn't really a spoiler. I mean, it is, but it isn't. But it kicks off with a little homage to Thundar, the Barbarian, which we both love.
Yeah.
And anybody that's
Scooby-Doo.
Anybody that has any taste loves Thundar the Barbarian. And I just assumed because they're fixing to put out Thundar the Barbarian.
It's Scooby-Dum. Scooby-Dum-Dum-Dum.
Oh, he's the one with the big buck teeth?
Yes, the buck teeth one.
I know you're talking about. They're fixing to put out Thundar the Barbarian, the complete series on Blu-ray. So I thought, hey,
I am so excited.
They put a little cartoon vignette.
And you told me about it. I was like, oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I figured they just threw it in there. But it actually has a little more to do with the bigger picture, not Thundar himself, but the show of where they're going with it. So it's kind of I thought that was a
cross promotion.
I thought it was an interesting little addition to it. But this is probably back to one of my least favorite of they've done. It wasn't a bad movie by any means. I think most of my issues with this boils back down to not being a fan of Scooby-Doo. Because, you know, every Scooby-Doo movie is exactly the same, or show. It's the same formula.
It is the same
formula. They have their thing, the case or whatever, and then they solve it, and it's not what it seems. I will say the intricacies of this one, because it involves time travel and stuff, the explanations and things that he did, I thought were very clever.
Yeah. It was all very clever. I was trying to figure out, like, there's some monsters and dragons and things. You're always trying to figure out, like, how did they make that work? Is it a mechanical creature? Because that's how it used to be in the TV show.
Yeah.
And Daphne would be like, it's not a monster, it's a robot or whatever. So, I mean, I was liking all that. I liked it. I guess I'm that person that I liked all Scooby-Doo things.
It is entertaining. I'm not taking anything away from it in that way. It's not like a crappy movie. Again, I think it was just my lack of being a fan. It felt like, it's the same thing. You know,
it's no episode with Sonny and Cher, but it's pretty good.
And I think that's why I've enjoyed some of the other ones, because when you infuse other characters or actors or whatever, because I will say I used to really enjoy the Scooby-Doo Mystery, whatever it was, where it always had the guest stars. My favorite being the one with Don Knotts.
Mine was Sonny and Cher.
Batman showed up, Don Knotts showed up, Harlem Globetrotters show up.
That was fun.
They were on everything, but
They were at that time.
Those, I think that's why those other movies work so much better for me, because you had something else to add to it.
Yeah.
And they get to see how they fuse the characters together. I always thought was clever.
Yeah.
This one doesn't have that element really, so it's more of a
It's just
straightforward
straight up Scooby-Doo.
And I think part of my problem with it is it's not like every cartoon doesn't have its same formula of some sort.
Correct. It's the formula.
But this one has very specific notes that it has to hit to be a Scooby-Doo mystery.
Yeah.
You know, where it's got to be, somebody's got to say that we got away with it, one for these kids. You got to pull a mask off of somebody. You know, it's always going to be something different than what you see.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing all that's coming kind of loses a little bit for me. But if you're a fan, I think you will love this movie.
Yeah, I do like that. Also, Daphne got a little bit more to do than she would normally do, so that was fun. Fred was typical Fred. I think some of my favorite is the relationship of.
Are you
Shaggy
eating
and Scooby.
my fruit slices?
They were on the community table.
You have candy over there.
Yeah, but if you see my candies on my side to indicate this are my
I don't have a
candies.
side because you have.
You do have a side. This is community area.
Don't touch my candy without permission.
You shouldn't have left it there. You need to check out Scooby-Doo, The Sword and the Scoob. How can I watch this movie?
You're not going to be able to. You take one of my slices again. I'm going to take the guy
Wow.
out with you.
Wow. I have protective eyewear.
I'll punch him. The glass will shatter into your eyeballs.
They're not glass, they're plastic. How can I watch this movie? You shouldn't be eating on the show. That's very unprofessional. And you do on every show.
This is willing to have an entire dinner while we have a show. She has asked us about.
Yeah, can we just order food and eat on the show?
She wants me to have like full Wingstop meals while we're trying to have a show. I'm like, really?
My Wingstop is scheduled to be here as soon as the show's over. All right.
It is available now on the DVD, and I'm sure you can probably find it on demand.
All right. Check out Scooby-Doo, The Sword and the Scoob. It is excellente. If you're me, and if you're you, it was just...
It was entertaining. It's fine.
All right.
And we're giving away a copy of it on the website at
HollywoodMatrimony.com.
There you go.
All right. Next movie. You want to go here? All right. Let's go to this film right here. This next movie is called Horizon Line. It stars two people that I don't think I've ever seen in anything.
I've seen him in something, but I don't remember. But anyway,
It's Allison Williams and Alexander Drummond.
it's also got Keith David in it.
Yes, and it is from the creators of 10 Cloverfield Lane and The Shallows.
And not to be confused with David Keith.
And not to be confused with the Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-lows.
Or Sha-na-na.
Or Sha-na-na-na. Yes.
Bowser from Sha-na-na. He was my favorite.
All right, what is this movie about? You tell us what this one's about.
This is actually a movie that I was kind of slightly intrigued about because I always like movies that have a very minimal locale.
Yes.
I know sometimes that irritates you.
Yeah. But it's okay. This one I got.
In this case, the premise of the movie is about this couple. They have their own issues, as like every one of these movies. But they're trying to go somewhere, so they have to take this little like charter prop type plane. And of course, something happens. They get stuck on this plane. So the majority of the movie is the issues of them trying to keep the plane from crashing. That's a simple version of the movie.
Pretty much.
Without knowing how to fly a plane.
Correct.
That's what we'll say.
Okay, so this is one of those movies that immediately has me thinking, what would we do if we're in this situation? Oh my gosh. Do you know how to fly a plane?
No, but I would have thrown you out first because free space.
Wow. Wouldn't you think you'd go out first because you weigh more?
No, that's why I would throw you out.
Wow.
Because I'm stronger than you.
Anyways, I think we could land this plane.
I would flash back to you running away and leaving me on the mountain next thing.
Wow. Babe, that was like 15 years ago. You need to let it go.
I'm not going to. Here's this Vader. I don't know what you're
Vader,
doing.
honey, sit down.
Really don't think
Sit down. Oh, he's trying not to sit on these because he knows mommy loves these.
This is one of those movies like I said, I was kind of excited to see it because I thought it was an interesting concept.
Yes.
The first half of the movie was slow and annoying. I disliked it because I'm like, there's
It's
so
character, I guess.
it is. It's trying to introduce you to kind of the characters in the world we're dealing with, but it felt like spent too long there for what we were going to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that time would have been better spent building even more intensity and stress and different things for them to do while they're trying to talk. Because once it gets in the plane, it's fairly interesting.
Yes. Then it picks up and things start happening.
That's a little over the top at times.
Over the top.
I did that for you on purpose.
Thanks.
It's a little outrageous. There's moments where you're like, really? Seriously? But, as I said in my review, everything they do in this movie has been done in an air show, has been done by stuntmen, given they've had safety harnesses and things like this. But it does tell you that those things can be done.
Yeah, it's freaking me out. Now, the thing that I guess
this movie stress you out?
It stressed me out a little bit because there's parts of the movie where they have to obviously to kick things out of the plane to make the plane lighter. Well, first of all, they're in a prop plane.
Yeah.
One of these. We've been in one of those. And the guy
we haven't been one in this small, but yes.
Yeah, ours was a tiny bit bigger, but we've been in one of those, and I can't imagine like the thing spinning, and all of a sudden it's like stops, and you're like in the air. Like what happens? I start imagining Tom and Jerry movie or Wile E. Coyote, and you're hearing like, and that doesn't happen. I mean, you're obviously going to
normally
keep
it
floating.
glides, unless you're already facing this way, then it'll start diving.
Anyhow, but it started stressing me out because there's some point where one of the people gets on the outside of the plane to do something. Like, why would you go on the outside of the plane? But humans are supposed to be inside.
Yeah, but there's technically things that's the only way you can do certain things.
I know. It's just ridiculous. So then this makes me think we need to engineer planes, and there needs to be an emergency switch or cover thing inside the plane.
My biggest issue,
like
those elements, like I said, I looked at them as I've seen people do these kind of things before, so I know it's physically possible. It's not like seeing stuff, like even you see like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible, and he's hanging on the side of an actual plane.
Yeah, he's crazy.
He's attached to the plane, so there's safety protocols, but that he can hang on the side of a plane and not die, right? And while it's flying.
Yeah, normal people can't. We're not Tom Cruise.
No. I'm just saying physicality is possible. But you do have to leave some of it to your imagination because it does get a little ridiculous. It is a little bit of, we know they can do this, but could they do this and the task they're trying to do?
I don't think so.
It's
my spaghetti arms would not.
But at the same
hold me.
time, I give them credit for trying to do something different with that, because a lot of times when you're in that small of a place and trying to tell a whole movie, you lose it after a while. Especially if something you need to build tension, you need to build, suspense for, and all you have are two people, and all they're doing is flying an airplane.
Well, that was the other thing that actually I liked. Once we got to that point, it was just the two people in the cockpit trying to figure it out. I kind of liked their dynamic. They did okay.
For the most part, they were fine for what they were working with.
And you do have to kind of carry an entire film with just those two people in a small enclosed space.
Now, I found that some of the stuff felt a little rushed because it was a short run movie, and again, this goes back to me thinking they wasted too much time at the beginning.
Yeah, I agree.
Whereas they could have spent a little more time in between intense moments to build up some of the dynamic, build up some of the ideas. Because these two people come up with ideas like this.
Yeah.
That would probably wouldn't come up with that fast.
Yeah.
Also succeeding in things a lot faster.
Yeah.
And even when things failed, it seemed to happen abruptly.
Yeah.
And then that builds us up to the end of the movie, which is fine. But
it
seemed
like the end.
Abrupt and sudden.
I agree. I did not like the end.
And they even teased us with something else that, again, I know it was purposely meant to build tension. Then they take it away from you. But had they
should have gone there.
That time, it didn't even have to go there, but it could have let it go a little longer.
Yeah.
To really make you think, oh crap, this is about to go down, because it does it like once.
Yeah.
And then it's over.
It wasn't enough.
Like, so it's a decent movie for what it is. I think it's worth checking out, but you also have to know that you kind of got to suspend disbelief on some level, and you got to give it time to get to the meat of it, if you will.
The good stuff. It was fine. Horizon Line available now.
It's available
right?
now on Blu-ray and DVD. It's been out for a little while. We were late to the party because I got it late.
Well, check it out.
Yeah.
All right. Where do you want to go? This one or this one?
That, or do you want me to jump in this other one real quick?
Why don't you jump on that, and then we'll go to this.
We can discuss this together because you've seen some of these.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
exciting.
Something that they put out, and it's got a discussion came up, and another person I know kind of answered the discussion, which I had my theory, but their theory is probably exactly right because it makes so much more sense. But they put out a John Hughes 5-movie collection, which isn't overly surprising. John Hughes is the voice of a generation.
Very much.
If you don't know John Hughes, you know his films.
You probably do, and you don't know you do.
He's not only was he big for the teen comedies and things, it was always about family and love and acceptance and redemptions and all these kind of things. What's weird is the movies that they chose to put in this collection, which I had a couple people ask me about. But then somebody else mentioned too, because I thought, well, maybe this was just trying to show a more diverse version of his films. Somebody else is like, no, those are the ones that Paramount made.
Oh, well.
Makes total more sense.
Be that way.
I tried to get all deep about it, and it's like, no, you're right.
Just being realistic.
These are just the ones Paramount put out. But this collection includes Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Nice.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
I love that.
Pretty in Pink.
Yep.
She's Having a Baby.
Okay.
And Some Kind of Wonderful.
Some Kind of Wonderful.
So I had seen most, if not all, of these. I don't know if you've seen all of them, because you probably have seen Some Kind of Wonderful and She's Having a Baby, have you?
Mm-mm.
I'm assuming you've seen the other. You haven't seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles yet either, have you?
Have I not?
The Steve Martin, John Candy movie. It's technically
Probably
a Thanksgiving movie.
Probably not.
It's one I keep saying we should watch on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But it is an interesting gamut, even if it is all because this is a Paramount release. So that's probably the more real reason. But I do find it interesting that you have a couple of them that are the teen comedies. You have a couple of them that are dealing with life. You have one that's dealing with, kind of the buddy travel movie. So it is a different kind of gamut of films. The collection actually, not only is it feature all 5 films, it has all the bonus features that have been recently released.
Nice.
With all of them. This is also the first, I believe right now, and the only way to get She's Having a Baby and Some Kind of Wonderful on Blu-ray. Which She's Having a Baby is Kevin Bacon and a very young Alec Baldwin.
Who's this? Who's the lady?
Elizabeth McGovern, I believe.
I think I have seen that.
It's all about them getting married and
I remember
their
her
life
little
and then
face.
trying to have babies. And so here's the thing: is the She's Having a Baby and Some Kind of Wonderful, the two that I had not really seen all the way through, or didn't remember seeing all the way through. I actually really dug She's Having a Baby more than I thought, because as you're watching it didn't feel like a standard John Hughes movie. It felt more like just a family drama.
Oh yeah.
But all of a sudden, there's one sequence. It gets into some of that quirky comedy stuff. There's an entire sequence of the neighborhood of guys mowing. It becomes a musical number.
Oh, where they're all
dancing with the lawnmowers.
Oh
and
my
ladies
gosh,
out there.
it's
It
funny.
becomes really funny. So it was interesting. Some Kind of Wonderful might be my least favorite of this whole group. That's Eric Stoltz and Leah Thompson. And,
yes.
What is the other girl's name?
The blonde girl.
Mary Stuart Masterson.
Yes.
That might be my least favorite, but they're all still good movies. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and Ferris Bueller are probably my favorite.
Yeah, of course.
My other, if I had to go on a scale, Pretty in Pink is probably down there at the bottom too.
What's the other one I like?
16 Candles.
16 Candles.
That's something I wrote on my review.
Pretty in Pink is the one with
Molly Ringwald.
with Ducky.
Yes, Ducky. Molly Ringwald.
But she likes the rich kid.
Yes.
Blaine.
Yes. No, Blaine, I think, is 16 Candles.
Ah, dang it! I
But
get
she
it
does
confused.
she does.
And 16 Candles is Long Duck Dong with the automobile.
Oh, no, Blaine is this one. You're right. Blaine is
automobile.
This one. Yes.
That's the
Long
other
Duck Dong is 16 Candles.
Okay.
But see, I never really connected with 16 Candles or Pretty in Pink.
Did you like? What was the other one? St. Elmo's Fire was that one?
No,
that one guy.
St. Elmo's Fire is one of the films. I don't know if that's John Hughes one, but Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club is amazing. I love
Everybody
Breakfast Club.
loves Breakfast Club.
And it's not because I dislike Molly Ringwald.
It's because you dislike Molly. I was about to say that you dislike Molly Ringwald.
No, I liked her just fine. The movie's fine. I just, for some reason, even when I saw them back in the day when everybody was talking about
were just like,
the two movies have always fused together in my brain. Nothing really
I agree.
Stood out of which one's which for me.
Yeah. That's why I guess Pretty in Pink and the other one, I am obviously so confused between
Planes,
the
Trains,
two.
and Automobiles and Ferris Bueller's Day Off are amazing.
Home Alone.
So,
we know that.
Anyway, but this is a fun little collection. If you're a John Hughes fan, and like I said, She's Having a Baby and Some Kind of Wonderful. This is their first time on Blu-ray.
Oh, this is my favorite.
A good way to. Which one?
Weird Science.
Weird Science. Is that John Hughes? Oh, Weird Science is amazing. Anyway, this is a great collection if you're a John Hughes fan, and even if you're not, you just like good.
Yeah, no, they're good.
Like movies from the '80s is a good way to check them out.
You'll at least like 3 out of the 4 or 5.
You'll like them all. They're all good movies. I just don't connect. Maybe it's because I'm not a girl.
Wonderful.
Maybe Pretty in Pink kind of hits more to the girl sensibilities.
I guess she just doesn't get that the guy likes her because she's like put him in the friend zone.
Ducky?
Ducky.
Yeah, I literally just saw an interview thing come out that she had something that she thinks Ducky's character was actually gay or something. Molly Ringwald said it.
Yeah.
But Molly Ringwald is really good in Riverdale too because she plays Archie. She plays Archie's mom. I don't know if she still does, but she did before Luke Perry passed away.
Oh, well, that makes me sad. Thanks for bumming me out with that.
No problem. I didn't kill him.
Oh, I like some Luke Perry.
I do too.
Okay, next.
It's available now on Blu-ray or Blu-ray.
Are you okay going here?
Let's talk about that one last since we.
Okay, let's talk about this one.
So the big screen, big release.
Can you believe it?
There's another delay film, and it got hit on theaters and HBO Max. Was the new Tom and Jerry movie.
I dropped the candy.
Oh no! She just don't act like there's anything down there.
Okay.
It's the new Tom and Jerry movie that's directed by Tim Story. It's a blend of animation and live action, which I always hate, except for very rare occasions like Cool World and Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I don't particularly care for Roger Rabbit.
Song of the South.
Yeah, well,
we talked about it last.
That movie is so long.
Anyway, no, but
besides being
anytime they blend those two, it's always a very hit and miss because I don't understand Hollywood's need. They feel like they need people in the movie.
Space Jam.
Space Jam is a good one too,
good one.
And the new Space Jam is coming out this year.
Is it? I didn't know
you didn't
that.
Know there's another one?
No.
Yeah, it's LeBron James this time.
Oh, I was like, where's Michael Jordan?
No, I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow brought him in, but it's LeBron James this time, and it's I think they're dealing with like the internet, stuff like that. So
oh my gosh,
they haven't released any.
I'm so excited.
They've released little things here and there, but not big trailers yet for it.
Anyway, sorry.
Are you looking at?
Now I'm looking at Space Jam. 2021.
Yeah, I told you. We're supposed to come out last year too, I believe. Anyway,
okay.
But yeah, there's certain movies like that work, but more often than not, they don't. And I don't know why Hollywood feels the need, like, hey, we need people in this movie to make it work. Because they've done it with Garfield. They did it with, they tried to live action certain things like Underdog.
Yeah.
You know, they made it a real dog. It did not work. So I was on the fence with this movie because, same token, I love all things Tom and Jerry.
I do too.
Like, even the Tom and Jerry, the movie that came out years and years ago, and they actually made him talk. As much as I hated him talking, I still love that movie. And they got away with it with me because of the great line.
He's like, you can talk?
He goes, why didn't you ever talk before?
I didn't know I have anything to say to you.
I'm like, genius. But they've also made sure that every animated feature that's come out since then, they've never talked again to my knowledge.
Correct.
So this that was my first
concern.
Don't
ruin it.
Were they going to make Tom and Jerry talk in this movie?
Not, yeah.
And they did not.
They did not. So
the other thing was wondering how are they going to explain away that you have this cat and mouse that are cartoons and nothing else. They did a unnecessary but genius move in my opinion. That basically every animal in this movie is animated.
Correct.
So in the world, all the animals are animated, all the people are real.
There you go. It works.
There's no discussion they're animated. That's just what animals look like.
That's just what happens. Yeah.
So it made it make more sense.
It's like, fine, that's where we're going.
So once you can buy into that, then you dive into the movie.
Yeah.
Before I say anything about the movie itself, what did you think?
I loved it. But I am a huge Tom and Jerry fan. I think there were a couple of problems for me with the bringing the animated and the people together. I think the people acting did a okay job. And I think the cartoon, well, I said, okay, I have some issues. But then I think the cartoons acting did a great job. But it was the interaction of the two.
You think the cartoons actors did a good job?
Yeah, they did a great job. Because it says Tom and Jerry, and in the credits it said Thomas J. Cat as himself and Jerome Mouse as himself. So, I mean, they were themselves. They did a good job. But bringing them together was very awkward. And specifically, the scene where they're having to like move around, like the animals around them is like so. It just didn't come seamless to me.
I feel like,
and I think little Chloe, what's her name?
Chloe. I thought she was fine.
She was fine.
The Colin
Michael
Jost,
Pena was
he was
fine.
awful.
Who is he?
He's the one that's married to Scarlett Johansson.
Oh,
he's just not that great of an actor. He's a great comedian.
Yeah,
he's good on Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live. He's just not that good of an actor.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't have a whole lot
Michael
to do.
Pena did really well because he seemed to be having. I will say everybody seemed to be having a good time making that movie.
Yes.
Even if it was really.
Everybody did okay though.
Yeah, it was
wasn't
fine.
Outstanding.
My problem with this whole movie were all the people.
Yeah.
The story was thin. The making it work was. I mean, it was fine, I guess, what they're doing, but again, I just felt like it was forcing the real world on us. Because anytime Tom and Jerry was on the screen doing the things, I loved it. Mm-hmm. Because I just love watching them, and they brought in a lot of old school gags.
Yes.
They didn't shy away from any of the things that they do in the shows. Even the older ones when we were kids.
Yeah.
They did a lot of that stuff, which surprised me because nowadays with everything being like, you got to water it down. You can tell the person that made the movie, meaning Tim Story, was probably a fan of them.
Because they did a lot of the gags, like the smashing the hands, the flying in the air and falling to nothing, and then the
favorite where you look in the thing, but you got the fist and punch them in the face.
Yes, there's like, That, and then I like the iron, like they did the iron gag, which they do in almost every Tom and Jerry, where the irons, and he has a big iron face. You know,
they didn't shy away from
silly things,
the
but those are the
stuff.
things that remind you of Tom and Jerry. My favorite thing in the whole entire movie was Jerry decorating his little mouse apartment. So oh my gosh, it was the cutest thing. And he has this cute big screen TV, and I'm like, where the heck did he get his TV? And I finally figured out it was an iPhone that he had set up as his TV. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the smartest thing ever. It was just clever to me that they introduced some modern elements to create his little house. So I just thought it was the cutest thing. He's my favorite.
Like I said, I had fun with the movie. You do have to get past the human story and the people that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
They could have done this entire same story, the same cast.
Animated all the people. The entire thing animated.
And it would have been a way better
movie.
Then
just had Chloe.
All them voice everybody.
And Michael Pena voice his thing. They could have drawn a cartoon Michael Pena. How cute would that be? With his little accent. He's so cute.
Have they made this entire movie animated from the ground up? It could have been the exact same movie, no changes.
It would have worked a little smoother.
It would have worked way better. It would have been way more entertaining. It wouldn't have felt as forced. Mm-hmm. And I think part of that is the actors having to act together against the cartoons, which they all did a fine job. But it's another Hollywood thing, in my opinion, of unnecessary feel to. And I'm sure it's more studio executives than anybody. I mean, who knows? Tim Story may have said this would be awesome. Excuse me.
But in the end,
I still had a blast with all the Tom and Jerry stuff.
And isn't it like the #1 movie?
It was the #1 movie this weekend. It's the second highest grossing opening weekend film since the pandemic started, behind Wonder Woman.
So Wonder Woman, Tom and Jerry,
and then I believe the Cruise was next.
New Age.
And then Tenet and something else.
I'm just saying, it's up there. So people bought into it. At least people. Maybe
and
like
that says
our
a lot
age,
because that's theaters. It's on theaters and HBO Max.
Yeah, got their kids there. Yeah. So that's the good thing. This movie does speak to the generations. For those of us that grew up with Tom and Jerry, and now the kids that you're taking with you.
I think this is a movie that adults that are Tom and Jerry fans are going to love it or hate it. Like I know somebody else that watched. They said they made 30 minutes and they said no, this movie's trash.
I know, but I also liked it. I get it.
Listen to them talk about going to plan to watch it. They'd already clearly sounded like they hated it before they were watching. I'm not saying that's what they did, but they posted like, I told such and so I will watch this movie. I'm going to take the bullet and watch this movie. So you're already saying I'm going to.
Oh, I was so excited.
We can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
You know, and I came out of it slightly, not unexpectedly disappointed on some levels because I kind of figured the human stuff was going to be. But anytime you can give me Tom and Jerry and they're doing their thing, I'm happy.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. I knew that some of the stuff might not work well, and it didn't. There were specific scenes to me where the interaction of them trying to pretend the thing's there and the thing being there didn't match up perfectly.
Yeah.
I knew that was going to happen. I was just expecting that the story would mesh a little more.
I also like that maybe this is yet another way to introduce another generation
to Tom and Jerry.
Two of the most iconic cartoon characters of all time.
Too bad they're not going to get to see the good episodes.
Yeah, most of them still air. It's just there
were a couple.
There's only a few that I think that don't show much
Tom
anymore.
And his cousin when they wore the blackface. That's
when they're in the natives and stuff. I don't think they show those anymore.
Those are gone.
I think they still show the ones with the
where he's singing
Tom
the blues.
Yeah, I think there's still blues stuff.
That was my favorites when he was with the lady.
The lady that we never really knew if that was her house or she was the maid.
I think it was her house
too.
She was in her pantyhose and
you
slippers.
Just saw that, slippers,
her stockings. Yeah,
Thomas,
you better catch that cat. I loved those. Oh, that was Matt. Sorry. And then I like that we had some of the alley cats.
Yes. So there's so many
your
elements.
Typical. And then Butch.
Yeah.
And then the little there's a bunch of familiar characters
there's a lot
from
of
Tom and Jerry
that I really
I appreciate it.
So if you're a fan of Tom and Jerry, give it a chance. Just know the human real world stuff is kind of weak. Just go and watch it for the fun Tom and Jerry stuff. That's how I watched it. That's how I enjoyed it. And I would probably watch it again just to watch them do stuff.
Yeah.
The animation was great. They look good. The vibrant colors of the animated characters look beautiful.
Was the best.
Doesn't fit really well with the gritty real world look.
Except there's one scene where there's a wedding scene. I loved all the colors of that. And then it worked well in that section.
Yeah, it's a
check
fine
it out.
And apparently
it had
I haven't looked it up, but I read somewhere it had a decent cinema score. So maybe it did well with more people than I thought it did.
Yeah.
So,
Anyways.
anyway, Tom and Jerry is in theaters and on HBO Max for the next 30 days.
There you go. Go check it out.
And last, but certainly not least,
we have one more movie to talk about. It's this one right here.
The next one we're going to talk about now, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you up front. We have not finished it.
We're almost done. We're like
we had
right
30
near the
minutes
end.
left. And we were watching it before we finished the show. We got sidetracked or something else. But it is one of the most talked about movies. People are talking about thinking it's one of the best movies of the year.
Oh, did you bring your thing? I forgot mine.
Dumb.
Shoot, you're going to have to go get it for me.
Why do I need to go?
Because you can easily exit
and
return.
Anyway, it's a movie called Nomadland.
Yes.
Starring Frances McDormand. It's directed by, oh my God, I don't remember her name. She's fixing to direct Eternals. She's kind of like one of these up-and-coming people. Zhao, Asian lady. Crap.
Hold on.
Chloe Zhao.
Uh-oh, I just clicked on the wrong thing.
Her picture was right there, though.
I clicked on the wrong thing.
It's all right.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Her name is Chloe Zhao.
There you go.
She's going to be directing the Eternals for Marvel, or did direct the Eternals Marvel, so this is obviously completely different types of films.
Chloe Zhao.
This film is about a lady who basically kind of goes off the grid of sorts.
It's interesting.
She's living out of her van, but she kind of connects with a group.
Yeah,
not really a commune type thing, but it is. It's just a group of people that are all kind of living off the land, off their own stuff, and they work together to help each other out. And it's just trying to get back with nature and get away from the hustle and bustle of the real world. But they're not like weirdos. They're still connected.
No, it's interesting that the way the movie starts is it gives us a real life example of in 2011 this plant in this town shut down. Well, that's where everyone works. So the entire city basically went away. It disappeared.
There was no longer a zip code for that area.
Like the whole So
it's like that piece of land no longer exists.
Yeah, so she didn't have a job anymore because everybody worked at that factory. But that is a real life thing that has happened in this country is factories shut down and they become automated. The people no longer have jobs. So what do you do if that's been your entire life?
Well, for years there have been stories of people who just like hit the road or who go to live in tiny houses or they go.
Yeah, they're nomads. One of the ladies from work, she lives in an RV and she is part of an online RV community. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She's, I think, in Colorado. She's making her way to Texas, I think, at some point. But there's a group on Facebook.
So she works out of her RV?
Yeah. Oh. There's an RV community that they all post about where they're at in different places. Like, oh, if you go to this city, go here. So it's a whole little community, and that's what she does. It's her and her cat in the RV. And I'm like, that is awesome. I want to do that. And I've told you, I've wanted to just travel the country and work wherever we are. So I totally understand this nomadic lifestyle.
You understand the
concept.
The concept idea. You would not like it.
If I was in an RV, I might.
You don't even want to camp, let alone.
But an RV is a house on wheels.
No, it doesn't matter. That you would.
I know you have to hook up to stuff.
You would be living the camping lifestyle just inside an RV.
That's okay, but if you stay somewhere for 3 or 4 months and you're working,
but you barely want to leave the house.
Well, I think if you weren't here. I might.
If I wasn't here, you'd probably be doing the same thing.
No, I would go into a tailspin and not know what to do with my life.
The movie.
So then, just FYI, I'll go RV.
The movie's not only features Frances McDormand, which, if I'm not mistaken, she's been trying to get this movie made for a while based on some book, and then she saw some other movie that Chloe Zhao made and approached her about making this movie.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But it also features some of the people in the movie are actual nomad people. They're not actors.
Yeah, but it says just Frances McDormand and David Strathairn. That guy, the older dude, which I like him.
They're the only
everything.
2 actors, right?
Yes, everybody else are actual nomads, and their real first name is their character
And
name.
I guess they just give them lines or tell them to go do things.
Yeah, and I feel like they're just sharing. Like, there's this one guy that's leading. So she lives in a van, like a legit van, not an RV. So she doesn't have water hookups and all that necessarily. And so there's a whole community of just van people that she hooks up with. And there's this one man giving a speech and telling about stuff. And then they do little training things about like, well, you could use this size bucket or this size bucket for your bathroom. And, oh, if you go here, make sure you clean that. So it's the same idea.
It's weird when you watch the movie. You can tell it's an acted movie.
Yeah.
You know, a scripted movie with performance stuff. But there are a lot of elements that feels documentary-like. Like they're just sitting there having conversations and you're listening to these people tell their life stories. And I'm sure that's really what it is they just said, okay, this case, she's learning about all of you. So just tell your real story.
Yeah.
And they probably just told the stories and they filmed it and it comes off real because it likely is.
Yeah.
Because you kind of see a very subtle shift in tone when it's a scripted sequence. And then when it goes into where you can tell somebody's really having emotional feelings about their real life or whatever happened. I mean, we're only, like I said, we have 30 minutes left, and it's a really good movie, and it's really kind of heartfelt and simple, but very powerful at the same time, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've gotten that so far.
Yeah, I've gotten it. I mean, and I can understand it. Like, some people choose it, and that's one of the conversations she has with her family is like, why did you run away? And she's like, I'm not running away. She goes, this is it. She tells this one young girl, I'm not homeless. I'm houseless, which is different.
Yeah.
So, she's kind of fighting the big government corporate mentality that you're trying to reel people in into buying houses that they can't afford and making these mortgage payments. She goes, I don't have that. So maybe that's why you're angry with me. And it's interesting. I'm reading some of the behind the scenes facts.
You're not a slave to the man.
Correct. That's what some of these people, they want that freedom. They want to live life on their own terms, and they're kind of taking it back to the old days where people did travel across the country to go work here, and you travel to go work here, and you would follow the work. And it's interesting because that's how my grandparents were, and probably your grandmother too. I mean, some people picked fruit or whatever. Like my grandparents.
Oh, yeah. My grandmother picked cotton.
Yes, and my grandmother did too, but they would go with the seasons, and they'd go, okay, it's watermelon time, we're going here. It's plum time, we go here. So that's what
my
they
other grandma
did.
smoked.
Okay. But it's interesting. So she said she actually lived in the van, for 4 months. I think
the whole crew and everybody did.
She said she took the job. She worked at the Amazon packing plant. She worked at the camper program. She harvested beets. And it said that she fit in so well that some people like, hey, I heard Target's hiring. Here's an application. Yeah. So she fit in so well because she was just trying to explore it. And I find this fascinating.
That's why the whole film really does feel like there's a documentary element to it.
That's what I was wondering.
So it doesn't surprise me it's getting so much award love and people are praising it so much. I had somebody tell me that last year this was their favorite movie of the year last year. And of course, we didn't get to watch it because it did limited release and COVID and everything else. So now it's getting a bigger release. But it's really a hard movie to give details about because it's an experience.
You watch it, yeah.
Because I'm going to review it obviously still for the site, but it's really hard because it's really going to be more about the experience, and the performances are great, but it's going to be about the experience and it's not an exciting movie by any means. It's life. Yeah. And this is the kind of movie that most people don't like. Correct. Because you don't watch a movie for life. Yeah. You want to escape from your life and your humdrum. But this one gives a different.
It's a version of an escape for these people.
Yeah, it's something that's unknown to most, if not all of us.
Yeah,
because we live in this.
What would it be like to live in a van?
And even if it's not even the same thing as being poor, being in the ghetto, because it's a whole completely different world of living, and seeing how they trade stuff, and it's that way of life that we've heard about of the olden days before money or before this and bartering.
Yeah, I mean, because there's one scene where something's wrong with her van and they're like, you'd do better just trade it in and buy something else. And she's like, I can't buy something. It's not a van. This is my house. Yeah. And, trying to get people to understand that concept, which is really foreign to us. Because I'm thinking an RV.
This comes from the woman. It's like every 2 years, like, I want a new car.
That's different. It's not my house.
No, but I'm saying that's what I'm saying. That's the difference.
Now, if I had an RV, that'd be different.
You're looking at it as it's just a car. I'm going to get another car.
I know.
Hers is just a car, but it's a car she now lives in.
I know. Yeah,
it's her sole thing.
This is such an interesting movie, and it's really just.
I won't be surprised.
Eye-opening
with the Golden Globes that are on tonight, and or the Academy Awards that are coming up. That this movie will be hitting a lot of it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But it is available now in theaters and on Hulu.
Go watch it right now.
And speaking of the Golden Globes,
I need to go get my pet. Can you go get it?
He's on my leg.
How do I get out of here?
Creatively. You should have been prepared.
Do you remember what you picked? No, of course not. Because I picked 2 things for each thing.
Okay. Can you make it?
Yeah, I can make it.
All right. Well, while she's gone, I'll set it up. The Golden Globes are about globes that are golden. No. So Nomadland you can check out. What else was it? We got some contests. Make sure you go check our website while we're waiting for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the Golden Globes. It is on now. We haven't watched any of it yet, but we always go with the Golden Globes and the Academy Awards. We do our picks of the people in movies and whatnot that we want to win and who we think will win.
Yes.
So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to quickly go through it.
Quickly.
Because we got food coming.
We got our foods coming.
All right, so if you've already watching it, don't comment because we will watch it after this. We're going to finish this movie watch it right now. Watch this. So let's just go down the list real quick.
You want to go this way?
Yeah, so I'll call you out. So best picture for drama. What do you think? What do you think will win?
I think The Father.
I think The Father will win.
With Anthony Hopkins. What I kind of wanted to win was The Trial of Chicago 7, just because I just watched it and I really enjoyed it.
Well, my whole list. I'm going with just stuff that I've seen for the most part, unless I hadn't seen any of it. In this case, I think Nomadland's going to win both.
Oh, good! Wow.
I think they're going to win it, and that's one I want them to win because I haven't seen the other stuff. I have seen Trial of Chicago 7, but I don't think it's on par.
That was just so emotional for me because I didn't know anything about it.
Picture, musical, or comedy. What do you want to win?
I have no idea because I don't think I've seen these.
You've seen one.
Yeah, I think Hamilton's going to win. I did not like Hamilton.
I didn't either. I think I put Hamilton. I think it'll win too, and I hated it.
Yeah,
but I want Borat to win.
And that's what I knew you would pick. I don't have enough knowledge to pick anything else.
You saw Palm Springs, so you should have just.
I'm going to pick Palm Springs.
That's the Andy Samberg.
Movie. And that is surprising to me. Good for Andy Samberg
because he's nominated as well.
Yeah, because that's random.
So for director, I picked one and I changed it before we got on the air.
Okay.
Who do you want to win?
Regina King.
Who do you think will win? Aaron
Sorkin.
See, I think I want Regina King to win too.
I do too.
One, because the movie's great, but I just think it'd be cool for her to win. But I think the Nomad lady's going to win.
You really think?
I think
that would be amazing for her. Good for her.
I think this movie's going to sweep.
I hope so.
I had originally picked The Promising Young Woman director because this movie's been getting a lot of buzz. But I just think this movie is something different.
But David Fincher, though.
I know, but David Fincher and Aaron Sorkin always win crap.
I know. That's why I picked them.
I know. Screenplay.
I want Aaron Sorkin, Trial of Chicago 7. I think it's going to be Chloe Zhao for Nomadland.
See, I think it's going to be her, but I wanted Promising Young Woman to win just because it's going to get such a great buzz. We haven't even watched it yet.
Yes.
Foreign language film. This whole category pisses me off because of what they did.
But that's okay.
Who do you think is going to win?
I think it's going to be Minari, but I am voting for La Llorona out of Guatemala.
Mine's flipped.
Home country.
Because I think Minari I want to win, but I think La Llorona is going to win.
It seems interesting. I'm
upset. The reason I'm upset with this category, we've talked about this, is Minari.
It says foreign language film from
foreign
USA.
Language film catalog because they speak predominantly Korean in the movie, even though it's not in a
It's
foreign
in a very
film.
American
so
film,
apparently it pissed some people off, especially the director. So it should have been in the Best Picture category, but at least it's getting some love. If it gets nominated for an Oscar, it can be a normal because Parasite proved that it can be a normal.
Correct.
So, actor in a drama.
I want Riz Ahmed to win for Sound of Metal. It's such a great movie. I think it may be Chadwick Boseman just due to his passing.
I agree with that as well because I think that was Chadwick.
But
Boseman.
he did amazing.
That was his best performance of his career.
That whole big monologue, I would not have the courage to say the things he said just for my personal beliefs, but he went for it and I loved it.
I think had we got to sit and watch The Father yet, I think Anthony Hopkins. We have a screen, but we haven't seen it yet.
We haven't watched it yet.
But I picked the exact same two you did.
Oh, great.
Riz Ahmed, though, I have a connection to that movie even more. So
yes, it's very personal.
Actor, musical, comedy.
I want Dev Patel just because, but I think it might be Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I think it'll be Lin-Manuel Miranda, but I want Andy Samberg to win.
Oh, I hope he does.
So
that would be so awesome.
I'd also be happy if Borat won. So
I know, but I don't know if people even really care for him. In that type of
he's nominated in two categories.
I know.
He's nominated in Chicago 7 as well.
Yeah.
Actress in a drama.
I want to pick Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman. I want to win, but I think it's going to be Viola Davis, and it's well deserved.
See, and I think Carey Mulligan will win.
Really?
But I want Frances McDormand.
Oh man, Viola Davis though.
I know. I agree. I'm not saying
that movie.
She's good.
Okay.
But, all right, actress, musical, comedy.
I want Michelle Pfeiffer because I adore her.
Yeah.
But I think it might be Rosalind Pike for I Care a Lot.
I think Anya Taylor-Joy might be the one that wins, only because she's really popular from that other show right now.
Yeah, she's good.
Even though Emma's
Yeah.
Okay.
The other
but I want
better.
Maria Bakalova to win because she is so good at Borat.
Is she? I didn't watch it.
Because she essentially has to do the exact stuff he does.
Oh,
and for
Lord.
a young actress to come in and do some of the crazy crap she did.
That's the one that's his daughter?
Yeah, and she did interviews when he'd come out as Borat. She would show up as the daughter character on talk shows as well.
Oh, my gosh.
So I thought she
Poor
killed
thing.
it.
She threw herself out there. You go, girl.
I really hope she wins them because it'd be cool, like a relative unknown to show up.
Yes,
and
good for her.
Cool. Animated features. This one's going to be the one that's kind of tricky for everybody.
I think Soul might win. I picked Onward because I just cried my eyes out at that movie.
Want Onward to win.
I
think
really
Wolfwalkers is going to win.
Oh, I've not seen that.
Just because it's a unique looking film and different, but I wouldn't be surprised if Soul won.
Yeah, I agree. We're almost there, guys.
Actor supporting role.
I want Jared Leto to win from The Little Things.
Really, that surprises me.
Yes, because I don't particularly care for him, but he's good. I think it may be Leslie Odom Jr. in One Night in Miami.
See, and I went a different direction completely.
Oh,
of course, I want Sacha Baron Cohen to win. Because,
I know.
Because I think he's just such a diverse actor.
I think he gets pushed to the side a lot because of the style of things he does.
Sorry, the dog was scratching my leg. But I think Daniel Kaluuya is going to win from Judas and the Black Messiah.
That's a great movie, too.
Actress in supporting role.
I picked Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy because I've heard so many good things that I think will win.
Okay.
No, that I want. I think it may be Jodie Foster in The Mauritanian.
See, I picked Glenn Close thinking who I think will win because it's Glenn Close.
I know.
I want Helena Zingel to win from News of the World because that's the little girl.
Oh, she's so good.
And again,
she does so much with so little.
That much of a performance, I just think she deserves it.
She was good.
Musical score. This one was all over the place.
I don't know. I picked Soul, the second Trent, Atticus.
Trent Reznor.
Yes.
Crazy that he.
So bizarre. Yeah. Doesn't seem like something he would do. But then I think it may be News of the World because it's so dramatic and subtle, that score behind the music, behind the movie.
See, I wanted Ludwig Göransson to win, whatever his name is. Because I like that soundtrack.
And I love anyone named Ludwig.
But I think, although I think Trent Reznor's going to win, I think it's probably going to be for Mank.
Oh, you think?
So
a little bit soul.
I know.
All that jazz.
I know.
Okay.
All that jazz. I didn't even pick an original song because I don't know most of those songs. So.
I picked one from Judas and the Black Messiah or Chicago 7.
Cool. So. TV series drama. Of course, everyone knows what
we want. We want The Mandalorian to win.
And here's the big reason: it's not necessarily because I think The Mandalorian's a better show. It's because I want it to give more credibility to genre TV.
I picked it just because of the.
It is a great show. Don't get me wrong.
The creative way that they're making the show based on technology and that whole surround screen.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's in a studio.
Don't get me wrong. My love
of Star Wars. A big feel.
My love of Star Wars plays into that. But I think it's just like Shape of Water gave credibility to the Oscars to a genre film.
Yes.
I would like to see a genre series.
I picked The Crown.
I think The Crown will win.
Either that or Ratchet, maybe. But Ratchet was good. I hate to admit it.
TV series, musical, or comedy?
I picked Schitt's Creek just because I think that's what's going to keep going.
This is their final season already, and I think they're going to rack it up already. Actor in a drama?
I picked Jason Bateman because that's who I would want. I think it's going to be Josh O'Connor from The Crown.
I think it'll be Josh O'Connor from The Crown. I picked Bob Odenkirk because I'm a fan of Better Call Saul.
Oh, yeah.
He's also the guy that's going to be stars in the movie Nobody that's coming out. So I'd like to see him.
That looks so good.
Because he is so not an action guy. He's not somebody that...
He's a comedian, right?
Well, he's not a stand-up, but he's more of a drama comedic actor.
Yeah.
Actor, musical, comedy.
Okay, I picked Eugene Levy from Schitt's Creek. I don't pick anybody else.
If Schitt's Creek was on there, I usually picked anything from Schitt's Creek. Actress, drama.
I want Olivia Colman from The Crown. It may be Sarah Paulson from Ratchet.
So you want Olivia Colman?
I do.
I flipped it.
Really?
I want Sarah Paulson, but I think it's going to be Olivia Colman.
I don't know. I'm okay.
It's funny because you hate Sarah Paulson.
I do, but that show is amazing.
Actress, musical, or comedy?
I picked Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist because that show is so fun. But I think it'll be the lady from Schitt's Creek.
I think Catherine O'Hara will win, but I want Kaylee Cuoco to win.
Because, I know you like
Kaylee because I was a fan of Big Bang Theory, but also seeing I saw on her Instagram the video of her finding out she was nominated and her in bed crying. And I'm like, it would be just so cool to see her.
That show looks great.
Haven't seen it. Somebody like a real reaction of stuff makes me happy. Actor, limited series, TV. I didn't watch any of this stuff.
I want Hugh Grant from The Undoing. I've heard so many good things. It may be Ethan Hawke.
I think it's going to be Ethan Hawke, but I picked the Bryan Cranston because I love Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
That show looks amazing, too, but I haven't watched any of those. Actress Limited Series TV.
I want Anna Taylor-Joy from Queen's Gambit. I loved it. It may be Kate Blanchett from Mrs. America because I got a lot of.
I think it's gonna be Queen's Gambit.
I think it's Queen's Gambit. It was so good.
Actor supporting role.
I think it'll be Dan Levy from Schitt's Creek, but Donald Sutherland from The Undoing. I'm telling you, The Undoing was so big.
Well, I agree. I think it'll be Schitt's Creek, Dan Levy, but I want John Boyega to win.
Oh,
Small Axe. Those are the series of films that we didn't get to finish yet. But I just
the one we didn't watch.
Especially part of me outside of the Star Wars fandom, but being a fan of Boyega and all the crap he's been going through lately from when he got out with the Black Lives Matter stuff, and then he's come out very vocal against the Star Wars treatment of his black character and how it pushed to the side a little bit. I'd like to see him get more credibility.
Yeah.
Actress in a supporting role.
I want it to be Gillian Anderson from The Crown. She did an amazing job. But I think it'll be Schitt's Creek.
I picked it'll be Schitt's Creek, but I actually picked Helena Bonham Carter from The Crown just because I like Helena Bonham Carter.
I went back between her and Gillian Anderson, but this last season, Gillian Anderson
so I just picked her based on being a fan.
The show. No, Helena Bonham Carter throughout the course of The Crown has been amazing.
She's been every season?
No, she's there was a younger version of her, and then she's been in like the last 2 seasons or 3 seasons. She's the Queen's sister.
I got you.
Who basically, because she's the Queen's sister, kind of get thrown to the side, and every time a son's born, her position and rank goes down, down, down. So her dealing with that is amazing.
Limited anthology series or TV movie? Oh, God. The last one.
The Queen's Gambit, but maybe The Undoing.
See, I want the Small Axe to win, but I think it'll be the Queen's Gambit.
Yeah. So,
I just want Small Axe because I like the concept of how they're dealing with
that. I did too. It was very smart.
Anyway, all right, so moving on, I guess, to the giveaways real quick.
Yep.
What we got, sister?
Oh, I don't know. That's not me. Oh, that is me.
Yes, it is you, fool.
It's like, that's not me.
I'm going to talk about them, but all right, so we got a variety of stuff and a couple of new things going to pop up.
I don't even know what's coming up. Here we go. There you go.
All right. The first thing we have to give away is a copy of The Swordsman, which is a really great martial arts flick.
He's blind, right?
He's for the most part, yes, blind.
That's awesome.
So it's got a lot of drama build up into some action. We're giving away copies of that. You stay on the same page, sister. Then we're also giving copies away of the very excellent Mr. Dundee.
So good.
The documentary-ish, not documentary, mockumentary.
Real life story.
It's not really a mockumentary. It's a scripted show, but he's playing a fictionalized version of himself.
Yes.
But yes, we're giving away the Paul Hogan from Crocodile Dundee.
We're giving him away.
Yes, I'm giving Paul Hogan away. And he comes with a copy of Lightning Jack.
Nice. You call that a knife? This is a knife.
That's not a Lightning Jack.
I know. I'm just going back to Dundee.
Lightning Jack also stars Cuba Gooding Jr.
There you go.
Giving away copies of Zhang Ziao, which is part of the Fiction cinematic universe. That's also populated by Nick Zha, which I'm waiting to see what the next final chapter is.
That'll be interesting.
But there's a teaser at the end of Zhang Ziao, what's coming next.
Nice.
Also give away copies of Greenland. It's all about this land that's green.
Yes.
And there's like some Spartans.
Okay.
Give away copies of that.
Or Gerard Butler.
Yeah. And we're giving away one I'm super stoked to watch. I haven't watched it. It comes out this week.
Excited.
It's a movie called Crazy Samurai 400 vs. 1. It features the longest single-take action sequence in history, to my knowledge. It's 77-minute action sequence.
Of just fighting.
Of just samurai
badassery. I'm ready.
So we'll be talking about that next week. And lastly, we're giving away copies of Scooby-Doo, The Sword and the Scoob that we talked about on the show today. Also,
so good.
Coming up, I'll be giving away copies of this movie called Russian Raid, which is a martial arts action flick. The filmmaker, while you may say, whoa,
is it like The Raid?
He was inspired by the movie.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
So it's not the same story. It's not a remake of The Raid. It's not a Russian version, but he was inspired by that movie. He loved that movie so much that he made this movie.
Oh, I'm
giving away copies of this, and we'll talk about this on the show at some point.
Okay.
It is not up yet, but it will be soon, and there is some other content fixing to pop up.
All right.
What else
That's
we got,
limited. All right. Coming out to Netflix.
Blu-ray and DVD.
Well, you'll have to go next because
Okay.
I'm talking. Coming out on Netflix this week is a movie called Moxie. It's about Moxie girls, don't back down, or whatever it was saying. Yes. So that's basically what it is. That's the Netflix movie this week. Then coming out on video on demand. Is this also in theaters?
No, that is going to be coming on Paramount Plus.
Okay. It is the new SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run.
It was supposed to get a theatrical release. The pandemic killed that. It did get released last year internationally.
Did it?
So some people have seen it, but it's getting Paramount Plus, which CBS All Access is shifting to this week. That is one of the first movies that's going to hit it. We're very excited to watch because we're SpongeBob families.
And then coming out on Friday, I am excited.
I am too, very excited.
Raya and the Last Dragon coming out nationwide.
Which can be in theaters and it will be offered up for the early release on Disney Plus.
Hey,
just like Mulan was, where you pay, I think, like $20-$30 if you want to watch it before the theaters. If you don't want to do either one of those, it'll be on Disney Plus eventually, and you stop crying about it.
all right. Nationwide, yes. Chaos Walking. Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley. That's all you need to know.
That's going to be an interesting one because that movie at one point studios came out and said this movie is unreleasable.
Really?
And there were some reshoots done, so it'll be interesting to see how it actually ended up.
It says in the not too distant future, a mysterious girl crash lands on a planet where all women have disappeared. Ooh, I remember the
you can see their thoughts and everything. Yes, it looks interesting.
But her thoughts are hurting them, or their thoughts are hurting her. Or something
because she can see them or whatever.
Yes, the noise.
It looks interesting. I didn't realize that was this week.
Oh, so I'm excited. Also coming out nationwide, something called Boogie, about Alfred Boogie Chin, a baseball phenomenon from Queens, New York. We'll see that. Video demand and digital, something called Crisis. It's Armie Hammer, babe.
It's what?
Armie Hammer, Luke Evans, Michelle Rodriguez. Is he?
You haven't heard about all that?
No.
We'll talk about it off the air.
Okay, the movie Crisis.
He's getting canceled.
This movie looks interesting. Son, coming on video demand and digital. Somebody steals her 8-year-old son, and something happens. I don't know. It looks interesting. Okay, Prime
30
Video.
years in the making.
Coming to America, Part 2.
That's right. It's coming straight to Amazon.
This is Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall.
And every other person you can think of.
Yes, and Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall again as the barbers in that commercial.
And,
that's my favorite part of the whole movie.
Sexual Chocolate's coming back.
Is he? Oh my gosh.
But look, I got his poster right here. Sexual Chocolate.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if they can see that on the camera.
Boss Level.
Yeah, they can. They can see that. All right.
Boss Level I'm excited for too.
Okay, Boss Level coming on Hulu. It's Frank Grillo, Michelle Yeoh,
Mel Gibson.
Ken Jeong, Mel Gibson. I'm in. This video demand and digital, The Devil Below. An abandoned place nestled deep in the Appalachian country. Anyways, very dramatic. Video demand and digital, The Affair in Czechoslovakia. Looks like it is maybe perhaps 2 women at this time period in the 30s.
Yeah, we've seen that trailer.
Yes, people in the 30s, they don't do that. That's the one where they're in the log cabins or whatever, and they start this secret affair. What were you talking about?
That movie Stray.
Stray. This limited release, though. It's about some aminals. Video demand and digital sometime other than now.
Stray's the one I told you about, the turkey, where they have the rules of the stray dogs that nobody's allowed to mess with them or pound them or anything.
Yes, this is true.
We have that one to watch as well.
Oh, it is in Turkey. And I was telling you that I think when I was there, they're just all over.
Yeah, that's everywhere. The whole thing. It's a documentary following specific dogs.
All right. That's it. There's so much happening next week. Right. We got to get busy. Let's get busy.
This week is kind of the opposite on Blu-ray and DVD, but there are some decent things coming out. Of course, Crazy Samurai 400 vs. 1 is coming out. Fatale, which was okay. It's coming out. Monster Hunter with Tony Jaa and what's her name? Mila Jovovich and Ron Perlman. That's coming out.
Yeah, it was okay. It was fine.
I don't think it got enough play. That we won't get any more of them, but maybe we'll be wrong. Those are the big ones coming out this week. A movie called Scare Me, which is a Shudder original. And then a few other random release things, Rick and Morty season 1 through 4, that kind of stuff. Nice. Those are the big things.
Nice. All right. That's it.
That's it then.
Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony live on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure you go follow us. And also check us out on the Instagram and Twitter. Don't forget to go to the website, hollywoodmatrimony.com, and click the contest button for all the free stuff. You got anything?
All right. Make sure you hit us up Sunday for all new episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. I promise you, we're going to get to some other shows eventually, but we're
tired.
It's been crazy busy, and I've had art deadlines. She's had a lot of work stuff going on. We had travelings, and there's still a pandemic, man. Give us a break.
Yeah.
And we'll be back to all of it, but you can always count on us on Sundays, and we'll be back.
For sure.
Make sure to watch the YouTube channel for new trailers and things like that, and then, of course, the website at
hollywoodmatrimony.com
for all kinds of news and reviews. Peace
Bye.
and love.